So a few weeks ago, some may remember that I shot a vlog on Thailand tourism. In that vlog, we discussed a few of the numbers, the arrivals, the revenue, the expected revenue for 2025, some of the changes in the demographics in Thailand over the years, now attracting more of a Middle Eastern and Israeli clientele as opposed to the number of Westerners that has decreased. That was a very statistical based interpretation of what's going on. And today I wanted to take the opportunity to go over to Koh Chang and actually talk to some people on the island for more anecdotal evidence of the impact of tourism in recent days in Thailand. Now, those that know Koh Chang know that it's not really a massive tourist island like Koh Samui or Koh Phangan or Koh Tao. It is a quieter island. A lot of people that live and work in Bangkok will opt for Koh Chang as an easy holiday. It's in good proximity to Bangkok. And so I have a few discussions lined up with people that live and work and have businesses here on Koh Chang, just to ask the exact impact from people that live and work here on tourism in Thailand, and if it is really going downhill, if it is really collapsing for this specific island, Koh Chang. So some people may remember Simon from one of our, I think it's one of the second most popular vlog on the whole channel. He's here at Amber Sands on Koh Chang. We're actually staying here for a couple of nights. You can watch the vlog. It's going to be down below if you want to see Simon talking about putting the place up for sale and whatnot. But today, actually, I wanted to ask you a little bit about tourism, Simon, because last time I visited Koh Chang, I did a bit of a piece on how some of the business had not recovered since COVID, COVID days, and some of the businesses hadn't. But I was then contacted afterwards by a few angry expats on the island, and they said, how dare you? You came and you didn't talk to the locals. So it's my job now to make sure that I talk with everybody that I meet on the island. And I just want to ask you, what has been your experience running the resort here?
So I would say in the last 12 months, we've gone from having the busiest high season to the lowest low season. I haven't got a clue why that is. Yeah. But last year we had record occupancy, which was, obviously really good for business. And then come the end of April, it literally nosedived, and there was very little tourism. Mm-hmm. Very little tourism on Koh Chang for sure. So we actually shut for like 5 months, which was quite, it was a nice break. We got to enjoy the resort, it was like being on holiday. So this year, I would say the numbers are not as good as last year, mm-hmm. But it all seems to be last minute at the moment. The days of people booking 6-8 months before, the traditional type of reservation that people used to make, that's long gone now. It's all 2-3 weeks time, weeks time, 2-3 days time. Yeah. People tend to book their flights, sort the accommodation out when they get there.
And your particular place here is very attractive to a lot of European. You have a very European market here, right? Have you seen a change much in demographics, or is it pretty much the same for you? No,
it's always been the same.
Because you generally have the same families, couples that book with you, regulars kind of thing.
Yeah, we do get repeat business, we get repeat business, which is always good because you're doing something right. But we also get a lot of new business, and what we are finding, particularly last year, and certainly a few reservations this year, we're getting first-time visitors to Thailand, right? Which is good, because you come to Thailand once, you're going to come back, aren't you?
I'd like to know what your opinion is. Or have you heard any stories of business closures, business overly struggling, or have you seen the opposite and actually businesses are opening and things are thriving?
Yeah, well, I would say, pre-COVID and during the COVID, and being in the business now, this is our 9th season, that you obviously keep an eye on the resorts, on what resorts are opened and what new businesses have opened, coffee shops, restaurants. And I would say that there's been a significant investment gone into Koh Chang, to be fair. There's some really nice high-end hotels now with high-end restaurants. You drive along and you see a place, I haven't noticed that before, and and it looks nice. You stop, go in, it's good. There's a lot of new businesses opening up, I would say.
So you wouldn't say it's like a big collapse? I mean, I've talked to a number of GMs that I used to work with in Phuket and up in the north, and they say actually some of the content that they're seeing online is not reflecting the truth of their business. There's been a demographic change, but they wouldn't refer to it as a collapse in tourism or tourism is over in Thailand.
No, I would say, again, last 12 months, highest high season ever. lowest low season, and now we're back onto a high season, and it's just starting to take off now.
Yeah. And then finally, this time round, will you close again during the low season, or are you planning to stay operational?
No, we will close again. I enjoyed it, the time off so much. Plenty of golf, plenty of weekends away. You know, obviously got to fit in with my son's schooling, but it was good to have a lot of free time.
Yeah, I think that's good for you.
I mean, this is a lifestyle business, and what, you know, if you can't enjoy the lifestyle, then I'm in the wrong business. Yeah.
Well, we were chatting a little bit earlier too, and I don't know if you've had a change of heart on the sale. You seem to be liking the idea of staying now. I don't know.
No, well, I'm a realist, and you know, we always had a 10-year plan. We're into our ninth year of it, so we've got another 12 months at least. But if someone came along tomorrow, then we'd do a deal for sure. Yeah.
All right, cheers, Simon. Thanks for the info, as always.
Okay.
I'd like to thank the long-term sponsors of this channel and today's video, Surfshark VPN. If you don't already have a VPN in this day and age, I can tell you it can come in very useful if you want to access restricted content, for example. I come from the UK, where there is more and more legislature being passed which controls people's freedom of browsing online. A VPN can be your way to get around those restrictions and get access to the content that you want. If you're like me and you connect to many different Wi-Fis in different restaurants, airports or cafes when you're traveling, Surfshark VPN can come in very useful with its alert system, which will let you know if your Wi-Fi has been compromised. I should mention as well that Surfshark now has a number of new features. It has an email scanner which can detect scam emails, and also has a web content blocker, which is parental controls, which I can use with my older son on his iPad. Surfshark will also help you avoid price discrimination. So sometimes when you're shopping online for things like flights, accommodation or car rentals, prices can be different depending on where you're searching from. Use Surfshark VPN to change your location and make sure you're getting the most competitive price available on the internet. And as part of the Black Friday sale, Surfshark have given me an offer to give to you. It's going to get you 4 months extra. Simply use code word NAKEDGURU at checkout, download the app, or go to www.surfshark.com/nakedguru. And do remember, that is a money back guarantee. So if it doesn't work out for you for whatever reason, you get your money back. So just before we ask the rest of the business owners and the people that live long-term here on Koh Chang that I've met on this trip, I just wanted to update you that I did take a little look around Lonely Beach as well. Things seem to be improving since my last visit. There are still some buildings that need a little bit of work and some TLC that haven't recovered since COVID, but there are a number of nice little cafes that have popped up, and it looks like they redid the sign at the front since my last visit, which was looking a bit old and tired. Now they have put a nice new sign there as well. So I think things are recovering in that part of the island. Maybe it took a little bit longer to recover over there because of its distance from the pier. Of course, White Sands being the busier beach here on Koh Chang. It's nice to see things looking good, and I will also report that I was going to extend our stay by another 2 days, but nearly every hotel that I tried to book on the island was fully booked. There were a couple of ones that I didn't really fancy staying in with my son Otis, but the ones that we did want to stay in, including the one we're staying in right now, is actually fully booked, which is also good to see. These are all positive signs, especially because this is not peak high season as well. I can tell you there are many Russians here on the island at the moment. As has been reported, there's a high number of Middle Eastern tourists coming over now. And so it is good to see the island doing well. I will also note here as well is that Cambodia is just over that way, and there used to be a large number of staff here, people that I've known for quite a few years that I always come and chat with, and they always take care of us at our table, me and Damo. And usually they work like 7 days a week, they have accommodation, they live here on the island and they send money back to Cambodia. They are not here this year. Some of our favorite waiters are not here, and maybe they're not coming back. This is what happened after the border situation. So that's been a real world impact of the border situation. People that we know and we've known for years have been coming back to this island. Now, this is the first island I ever came to when I arrived in Thailand over 15 years ago. We've been coming back to this island for a long time. I've known some of these people for a long time. When asking where they are, well, they're back in Cambodia. And so aside from tourism, that's been a bit of a real world impact on some of the Cambodians that were working on this island, of which there were many because of its proximity to Cambodia. So now let's go and ask a few more opinions on the situation from a couple of my friends here on the island in Koh Chang. So you'll know that there's a lot of content at the moment on YouTube talking about there's been a big collapse in tourism. And I'd worked in the tourist sector for a number of years. I contacted a few GM friends of mine and asked them about it. What are your views on tourism at the moment over this past year? Have you seen any changes or?
Well, I mean, I've been in England for 6 months. I came back in October, and when I came back, I felt like it was all right. We had, regulars that were coming anyway. So, they'd already from last year said we're coming, and
Yeah.
And so I didn't really think about it, but then we went out to a fair in Klon Prau. And I saw Jenny, she sells wine on the island, right? And we had a chat exactly about that. And she said the big hotels are really suffering. Mm-hmm. That's what she said. Mm-hmm. And so I came back here feeling a bit, well, we're all right probably because it's, people come that know us really, because we don't advertise not much anyway.
Yeah.
But since I've sort of, this last month, I've really noticed we've had nobody really for November. And last year it started and got back the whole of September, October, November, Thais, full of Thais.
Yep.
They obviously haven't got the money now, and to some degree they were subsidised during that time, and they all wanted to get out.
Yep.
So yes, and now people are starting to cancel. I've had a couple of cancellations. I've had a couple of people ask me about Cambodia.
Okay.
And I've said, no, it's not a problem, and it's stopped now, I understand.
Yeah.
Although I understand there was a bit of a rift the other day, wasn't there? Mm.
Yeah, I believe so, yeah. And in total on the island, it's 10 years on the island, but you're talking like 20 odd years in Thailand, right?
Yes. 25
years in Thailand.
Yes.
Do you think that people are developing a different opinion of Thailand in some way, and maybe they're opting for Cambodia and Vietnam?
Yes,
Is it a cost of living thing? I don't know.
I think the cost of living's got something to do with it. I think Cambodia opened up a lot more, and a lot of people from Thailand went to Cambodia over the last 10 years anyway.
Yeah.
And the last couple of years, the talk, even with the tourists, is Vietnam. So a lot of people have been going to Vietnam and Japan.
Yeah.
So they're travelling, and Thailand has been a bit whoopsie around visas, which also, and then the Foreign Office in England put the thing out about don't come to this area, which is, they went crazy.
Yeah.
And that is really a combination, and really it's gone on like that since COVID.
Yeah.
I mean, we were just about to be really good in 2019, and every year there's been something that's hit us, like,
the earthquake as well.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think, I talked to a few people about this. They do say Thailand is resilient and will always find its way. Have you?
I feel that.
Yeah. Have you seen much change in demographics?
Yes, I mean, I'm not in the hub of it anymore. I think the island saw a total influx of Russians and Ukrainians, right? And I mean, the whole business with these wars is crazy, because I've got friends that are Russian and Ukrainian that are in relationships together, and they're not in their respective countries, and they don't intend to go there.
Yeah.
So you're kind of left with this feeling of a lot of people were running away a couple of years ago, and that really hit Phuket. The prices of the property went through the roof because they were buying stuff.
Yeah.
We've had one place on the island that I heard about where somebody walked in and offered them 10 million, and they took it. 2 weeks later they're in, and they had no clue about the bureaucracy and what it has to be Thai. I mean, with the boat, it has to be 71% Thai.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's how it works. So you have a boat. You have a boat here too, right?
I have a boat company because of.
And is the boat? Is it a touring boat, or you take people out fishing?
Bam uses it to go fishing and stuff, and then we've got another little boat. He takes people down to the island, or we go to Kauai with a group or whatever. They do that. Yes. Yep. But yes, unfortunately I haven't been able to get on the boat because of my hip the last 2 years.
Okay.
So but I keep the company going.
So I think some change then. It sounds like some small change, but you're lesser affected being out here because Your regulars, the people that know you, that's who come.
So you see, people that find us, I'd really think COVID had an effect on them, because they find a place like this and they're just different, the way they view it now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've got plenty of COVID here was wonderful.
Yep. You hear a lot of this from expats. They say the best time ever in Thailand was COVID.
Oh.
Everything was so quiet.
And it wasn't just that. The fishermen couldn't go fishing. And the birds, and, you know, we had hawks all over we had dolphins in the sea over here, you know, and at Kauai. So it was like the ecology changed. Oh, really recovered.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got purple coral out in Kauai. It's beautiful.
Yep. Do you feel that since COVID, tourism has taken a big hit? And as a second part to that question, do you think that tourism in general for the island, Koh Chang, I know you can't speak for Thailand, but for Koh Chang is on the way down?
No, there are fluctuations, but certainly the last season we had was an extremely good one. You know, definitely, you know, our last high season was the best since COVID, probably the best ever, because there's always more rooms, there's always more. Thailand always bounces back from any little ups and downs.
Yeah.
I've found, and you know, since I've been here, I've seen a few. There've been tsunamis and SARS and bird flu, and you know, you can just, you know, a big long list, and it always comes back.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think Thailand has so much to offer to tourists, and is such a well-known and popular place that yeah, I can't see any long-term decline.
There's been a lot of content out there to suggest that tourism has took a massive dive, and I just wanted to know from you, have you seen any impact of that as things change for you, or is it pretty consistent, the business, over the past year or so?
Well, of course, we've had this trouble with the border, which really is a problem for Koh Chang. The moment when the trouble happened, when we actually thought there might be a war, everybody ran away, the island was empty, which I understand, because nobody knew what was going to happen. It was like a week. But after that, the border stayed closed. But here in Trat and in the area here, like up to the north of Thailand, there's nothing happens, you know. So, but we still feel it now, because it's all over Facebook. It's like, is it safe? The border is closed. Like, you see, the island is the same. Nothing's happening. It's not dangerous. But of course, people see it in the news and they worry and they send an email. Is it safe to come? And a lot of people have cancelled. We had cancellations, so many. I mean, at the moment, we're still fully booked for December, January, February, but we get still cancellations every day, but then they get filled up. And also in the diving we are busy, but not as busy as last year. So 2 reasons people are scared, even though they shouldn't be, but I understand it. They've never been to Thailand, so is it safe? We're close to the border. Second one is still some countries have problem for the travel insurance. European countries are fine, US is fine, but some countries still limit the travel insurance. And also, of course, because we are close to the border, usually we get a lot of tourists coming from Cambodia. So they travel Cambodia, they do Siem Reap, and then they come to Koh Chang and Koh Kut for the last week of holiday on the beach. But now they can't, they have to fly to Bangkok. And so the route was very popular and now it's not open. Yeah.
So you think it's specific, like recent news, it's not kind of symptomatic of a wider tourism collapse across Thailand?
This I don't know. I mean, there seems to be talk, one day you read like Thailand is growing, there's more tourists, and then in another article they say, oh, tourism is down 40%, so I don't know which one to believe.
Yeah.
But I can see my numbers of booking and cancellation in the room, so I must say, like when this happened, was it July, I think? Well, we were empty, so it was low season. And then also all our Cambodian staff had to go home. Didn't want to go home, but they had to go home because the government called them back. And then they couldn't come back. And then so when tourists started to come back, then nobody had staff and we had that problem. But now it's also slowly, I'm not going to say, but they suddenly appear again. I'm not going to explain how they appear again, but problems. I mean, let's say here life is good, people are back at work. They like to be back at work because it's what they do. And people are coming back on a holiday, but less because of the situation, I think. For Koh Chang and Koh Kut, it is because of this border situation, I think.
Yeah.
For the rest of Thailand, I wouldn't know.
Yep. So as I mentioned at the start of this vlog, if it's the statistics and the official numbers that you're interested in, you can check out my previous video on this topic in the pinned comment in the description below. Many of you actually reached out and said you don't trust the official numbers, that you don't believe that the tourist numbers have decreased or increased to what the government have said. And some said that they don't believe the revenue statistics. And so I thought it would be interesting to take the opportunity to get some more anecdotal evidence from people that live and work on this island, that deal with tourism every single day. It's these people that very rarely get a voice on YouTube. The issue, obviously, with anecdotal evidence is it is locational. So I'm on Koh Chang. This doesn't necessarily apply to all of Thailand. It is quite restricted because you're asking an individual's opinion. It is subjective, of course. No individual is tuned into tourism to tell you what's going on a national scale or even a global scale for that matter. And so it's these opinions that really just help colour in a little bit of the picture and give you an opinion of people that have been here for a very long time as well. A lot of the people I've spoken to have been here for over 20 years, so they've seen mass changes, not just on this island but across Thailand also. As was the conclusion in my last video, I think that there's a changing demographic in Thailand in terms of the type of tourist that is coming here. I think that the cost of living crisis is having an impact on people's decision whether to come to visit Thailand or travel more locally, get some package deal, particularly like in the UK. And that is why we see this decrease in arrivals, particularly this year. As also mentioned previously, the revenue has not been affected that much, but when you take into account inflation, money printing, and the global situation with currency, it probably has decreased the total revenue that Thailand is reporting in terms of tourism. I don't think it's particularly catastrophic myself. In fact, the people I've spoken to on this island that have small businesses here in the tourism sector seem to be doing just fine. I think one thing you would have gathered from today's talk was that the low seasons are extra low, but the high seasons are still doing okay. Of course, this border problem combined with the Bangkok earthquake, combined with costs of living, these are all small little issues that make up the bigger problem with tourism to Thailand. And of course, people traveling to cheaper destinations, people choosing Vietnam and Cambodia. Vietnam comes up a lot in my comments these days, and that's great. It's great for Vietnam. You know, there's some people have just decided that Thailand is too expensive for them and they're going to Vietnam, as I read in the comments, or some have opted for Cambodia, and some even Laos. You know, like I always say, Laos, although I haven't been now in about 8 years, Laos to me was always like 20 years behind Thailand. So it was like the Thailand of 20 years ago. If you wanted that more kind of rural and less urbanized cityscape, to be honest, I can't speak for it now because it's been a number of years since I've visited myself, but I know there are a couple of YouTubers out there that are covering Laos as a destination. For me, Thailand is always going to have a special charm. There's just something different about it, in my opinion. I can't actually put my finger on what it is. I'm sure you guys will have your opinions on that as well. But for me, it's just, there's something about Thailand, and having traveled most of the countries in Southeast Asia, that just sets it apart, that makes it unique. I think also having learnt the language here, that keeps me here. I've got a family here, my kids are Thai, my wife's Thai, I built a home here, so it's a little bit different. I'm definitely biased, but Thailand has just got that special something for me that I really love, and I think that there are some people that are always going to be drawn here to Thailand. All in all, I think if the global financial situation gets worse, Thailand will suffer from that. I think if things improve, then Thailand's tourism will improve. I think it's all just part of the natural ebb and flow. Like the waves here, Thailand will have its good years, will have its bad years, and I don't think there's going to be any particular long-term impact on Thailand when we look out 5, 10, 20 years, unless there's a global crisis. Thanks for checking in today, guys. I really do appreciate it. Please do share your opinions and thoughts below. Thank you for those that contributed with my very kind of broad question today. I appreciate that it's not also in people's minds, at the top of their minds, or how's Thailand tourism doing. And so when I ask that question, it's a pretty difficult question to answer, but thank you for those that contributed and gave it a shot. People that follow this channel know that I'm actually often more in rural provinces rather than these tourist destinations, but when I do come to places like this, I will update on tourism and try to get an on the ground insight that people can trust, because as I said, many people don't trust the official statistics and they want to know from the people that actually live and breathe this kind of thing. So take care, guys. All the best.